to elbow.
Yeah, actually, more bigger if I do that way.
And again, a few more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Hands behind, and then just knee flexion. So butt kicks. And again, just heel in towards the bum. And again, if it's quite tight or tender to start with, don't worry too much about it. Just don't go as high with the heels. Again, just nice and light on your feet. Just rocking side to side and bringing the heels in towards the bum. That's it. Keep it going. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Next one, okay, it's going to be side to side squats. Again, you just step into the side, just a little dip squat. It doesn't have to be kind of down onto your heels. And you just step into the other side. So again, step to the left and just bend the knees. Step to the right and bend the knees. Again, the depth doesn't have to be kind of crazy. It's nice and slow. Just get the knees and hips opening up. So just sit back onto your heels. Spread the weight through the feet. And just get used to a bit of a side squat or lunge. Here we go, 5 more from there. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, then just back again. Don't worry too much about the speed. Start to bring the heart rate right up. Slow it down a bit, knee to elbows again. Just 4 to 5 minutes, part of the warm up. Then we're going to crack it from there. So again, just knee to elbows. Bringing the knees up. Nice and high. If you can get a bit further this time, brilliant. Think about bringing the toes up as well as you do this. So not just keeping the feet pointing towards the floor. Get some front of the shin working. Tip ant. There's the muscle. Just pull those toes up. Pull the ankle up as you come across. That's 3, 2, 1, and 0. Hands behind. Okay. Again, just get the hammies warmed through. Bring the heel in towards the bum. And just rocking from left foot to right foot. Excuse me. And just keep going side to side. And get towards your hands. Again, if the knees are opening up a little bit now, brilliant. Just try and bend them a little bit further. If not, just get as far as you can. That's 3, 2, 1, and 0. And again, on the spot, side to side squats. So just sitting down to the heel. You got to keep your chest up, back nice and straight as you sit down. Again, don't worry about the speed. It's more of a strength class today, so don't jump from one squat to the next. Just slowly lower yourself down. If you can, sit down, the hips to the same level as the knees, so you get into that 90-degree mark. Brilliant. If not, don't worry. Just get as far as you can without the knees screaming at you or the hips screaming at you. 3 more. 2. And 1 there. Good stuff, guys. Okay, so we're going to start with lateral hip exercises. So from the warm-up, getting straight into glute med work, so lateral hip. If you find yourself a little bit of space on the floor, you'll be lying on your side. Okay, lie on your hand or use your bicep as a pillow. Excuse me. And we're just going to be doing clamshells. So the hip is kind of your hinge point, so you stay still from above the hip. Just going to open it out, so bring the knee out, and then bring the knees back down together. Okay, so just opening up from the knees and coming back together. Again, guys, there's 3 of us. We'll do it more as a time focus, but we're going to squeeze in around 10 repetitions. But don't worry, we're just going to be going for just shy of a minute. And again, really focusing on that lateral hip strength. Again, at home, this is one you can easily weight up, so you can add a band, or you can use your hand actually to push the knee down, or even just the weight of your arm to push against. So you can quite easily add a bit of weight to your clamshell. That's 3, 2, 1, and 0. Change in sides. Okay, so you're going to roll over. You're going to line the hand with your arm again. And again, you're just going to open out between the knees and then slowly come down. You just open out between the knees, nice and slow, and then come down. Really, really controlled, really slow. Okay, guys, keep that going. Just need to close my blinds. I'm getting blinded by the sun. Another very nice day today, which is good. I'm just going to mute all just so I'm not getting any feedback as well. So just keep opening up, guys, that left side, left hip. Think about cementing from pelvis up. And it's just the hip moving. Nearly there. That's 3, 2, 1. And stopping there. Changing sides again, guys. Okay. Now we're going to extend the lever, extend that leg. Okay, so now it's going to be same again, starting position, but this time the legs are straight. And rather than bending rotation, it's going to be abduction. So out to the side, abduction away from the body. So it's going to be heel and up towards the ceiling, down nice and slow. It's a lot higher load on the side of the hip with this one. So you'll probably start to feel it burning a little bit earlier. Again, it is an exercise. If you find it easy where you can add a band in, or you can pop the hand on the thigh and push down. But for most people, again, the weight of the leg is enough. That's 3, 2, 1, and 0. Changing sides. Okay. And again, opposite side, heel back, and then you're coming up. And again, try to keep the toes pointing forward, the foot parallel to the floor. So try not to outwardly rotate, so the feet are pointing towards the ceiling. You want them almost pointing down to the floor before you come up. Really slow and control on the way down. That's 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay, good stuff. So it's both sides. Changing sides again. Okay. Bit of a new exercise today. It's going to be step over. So you're going to hover in the leg. You're going to come behind you, and then you're just going to control forward, up, and then just tap the foot down. Then come up, so foot off the floor, come behind you, and tap down. And again, once you're in that position, you want to think about the hips swinging through, there being a good gap between the knees. And as you come through, again, just tap the foot down, come back up, and then come back through. So this, rather than just one plane of movement, it's testing lots of different planes of movement. It's actually testing the control of the glute as you bring the hip forward, which is exactly what you'd need if you were walking, running, jumping, etc. So again, it's leg coming up first, across, and then tapping down. Think of it up, back, across, and tapping down. One more repetition. Again, we'll be coming back to these guys, don't worry. You'll have another little practice. And then coming back flat. Okay, changing sides. So you lay on the side, leg comes up, so you're cocking your leg up first. There's a gap between the knees. The hip comes forward as if you were going to plant the foot. If you're running, you tap the foot down, come back up, and then control back. And as you go back again, keep the leg hovered before you then tap down. The knee comes up, then have a little tap. Up again, hold, control, and then tap behind. Okay, so it's controlled glute med work, controlling the gap between the hips as you pull through. So don't let the legs rub together. Keep the feet the same distance apart until you do the tap. And again, that's 3, 2, 1, and 0. Going back up there. Okay, guys. Turning back over. So you break in between each of these is basically you turn over. We're going back to clamshells. Okay, so lay flat on your bicep or your hand again. Cement the torso down to the hip on the floor, and then you're just opening out between the knees. Again, it's probably going to feel a bit harder second set. If not, great. Add a bit of pressure. Use the hand on the outside of the thigh, pushing down to just add a little bit of resistance to the glutes. Good, keep it going. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0 there. Changing sides again. Switch it over. Maybe a line on your arm or your bicep. And you just open it out between the knees, slowly coming back down. Yeah, don't be tempted to rotate the torso. Take the upper body, keep the hand on the floor. The arm you're lying on the floor. And really control those repetitions. So as you drive up, hold, pause at the top, then slowly come back down. Drive up, hold and pause, slowly come back down. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0 there. Come back down. Good, good, good. Okay, changing sides again. And this time again, side lying leg lift. So straight at the knee. If you lay on your left side, right foot comes behind the other foot, and then you come up. Okay, slowly coming down. Again, keep the foot flat, almost pointing down. Whatever you do, don't turn and point up. Okay, keeping your toes behind the heel the whole time. So if you imagine that left leg, or the bottom leg on the floor, there's an imaginary line going up from the heel to the ceiling. You don't want that floating leg, the moving leg, the top leg coming forward and hitting that line. Good guys, last one through, 2 and 1. Change the sides again. And again, now I'm lay on my right side, and I've got my left heel coming back first, and then the legs coming up. Again, just get as much height as you can, but control it as long as you can control on the way back down. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Stuff in there, okay. Leg overs or step overs next. What you're doing, lying on the side again. First of all, gap between the knees, and then you come back, heel back, tap the foot down, so a bit of rotation. Going forward, and tap down, come up. Control back and round. Tap down, come up. Forward, tap down. Keep the knee and foot in alignment. Try not to let the heel start dropping with gravity. Try and keep that movement there. The heel's almost up before it taps. Forward, little tap. Going back, tap there, coming up again. Down forward, and tap. Up, and back, and tap. Forward, tap, coming up, and back, Tap one last time through. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And last tap there, guys. Changing sides again. So now I'm lying on my right side. Bring the left foot and heel up off the floor. Gap between the knees. Knee comes forward, taps down, comes back round, taps down. And again, just think about slow, controlled movement. Okay, trying to stop any jerkiness, trying to get fluidity with the movement, trying to get around a little bit further each time, so gain a bit more strength through range. So work all the way through. And that's 3, 2, 1, and back to the middle there. Okay, guys, third and final time through. Back to clamshells last time. Onto the side. And again, strengthening up that lateral hip component. Glute medius. Okay, gap between the knees, and then you close that gap off. Keep the heels together. Keep body, chest, shoulders forward. Lying on your side or your bicep. Or as I'm demonstrating, just so I can look at the camera, lay on my hand with my elbow on the floor. And again, noticing myself, I'm getting slightly quicker now. Again, just slow it down. Controlled movement. Let your glutes burn. It's 3, 2, 1, and 0. Coming down there. Changing sides again. Clamshells on the left. Or vice versa. And again, just opening up from there. Good, guys. Just keep it going. Slow, controlled, fluid movement. That's 3, 2, 1, and 0 there. Rolling over again. Okay, and straight leg raise this time. Or should I say side leg raise? Raising the leg. Straight leg first. Toes and heels together, and then come up. Again, adjust it. Under a minute, around 45 seconds. Think about keeping that heel back towards the wall the whole time. Don't bring the feet forward. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So from there, changing sides. Okay, and again, 45 seconds, guys. On to the left side. Toes and heels together, and then come up. Guys, just nice and slow, nice and controlled. Last few seconds in. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 there. Stop in there. Good, good, good. Okay, rolling back over to the side. Giving that other side a rest. And step overs or leg overs, so the legs going up and over. Just tap the foot down, come back up. Control. Clear the legs, clear the knees. Tap down, come up. The knee kind of stays on the same track throughout. And it's just the foot. It just angles in, so the hips just angle in, tap the foot down, and then you swing the knee back through. Tap down, come up. Tap down, come up. Tap down and come up. Good. Just keep it going. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Come back to the middle there. Changing sides. Just rolling over. And guys, sorry about all the rolling over, but again, you get those oblique, same glute need working with the rolls. Your trunk control. So again, step overs. Swing the knee through. Keep a gap between the thighs. Tap the lower foot down. So lower the foot down. Tap and then come up and round. You guys just keep it going. You're nearly there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Coming back through there. Good stuff. Good work, guys. Next, we're going to be coming on to some deadlift work and hip extension work. So that's more lateral hips, frontal plane. Next is going to be more forward, sagittal plane motion. Okay. And guys, feel free to just let the glutes rest for 30 seconds there. 30 seconds off. Water if you want it. And then we're going to be doing a move called a Romanian deadlift, okay, or a stiff leg deadlift. All it means is you're basically having a slight bend in the knees and then the hips are staying where they are. The body leans forward, so it's a lot more load on the hamstrings. Okay, so it's a hamstring deadlift rather than normal deadlift. You get a bit more of a bend in the knees, you come forward with the back and coming through. Whereas a stiff leg, it's more of a kind of lean forward. And you kind of set the position of the hips and knees really still, and then you're just leaning forward. So it's higher load, more tension through the hamstrings. So again, guys, for stiff leg deadlift, just because I've got kettlebells in here, I'm going to use those. But if you've got a weight, there's things like, you can even have a chair on its side. I've got a step in here, a Reebok step. You get any sort of weight where you're essentially leaning forward, drop into the floor, and then bringing your body weight up and the hips through. You can use, so you could use a chair, you can use any sort of weight, table, you can have 2 bottles in your hand, 2 carrier bags with bits in your hand. If you're lucky enough to have a kettlebell or a barbell or something like that, you could use that. Even for the sake of just practicing the movement and the actual range of movement. So I've just got a dowel rod here that weighs absolutely nothing. You know, you'll even lean that far, you'll feel a really tight stretch in the hamstrings and quite high tension as you come up. So you don't even particularly need weight for this. And we're going to be doing the single leg version anyway, which is difficult. But if you have got a bit of weight, it's just nice to practice with, get a bit of hip extension strength. So your barbell or your kettlebell handles, you want your kind of toes up there or even just underneath. The hips, think about bringing your bum back slightly. You'll have a slight bend in the knee, and then what you're doing is you're reaching forward from there. Okay, so everything should be nice and straight. Okay, so normally a deadlift, you bring the knees forward a bit as well before you go up. So with this, the knees are a bit straighter, and then you come up with the weight. Okay, and then slowly, slowly come back down. So you set the knees and hips again, and you're almost just kind of moving the back. Okay, so you can kind of see my back there, like a tabletop. You can easily check out the form of this. And then the hips are coming through. Okay, so just have a little practice at that. Again, we're going to do 3 sets through. So feel free to just have this as a bit of a practice round. Get used to the movement. And if you want more hip power, rather than doing it as a slow movement, you can, as you tap down, the hips drive through quickly. So you can turn it really easily into a power exercise. For the sake of today, it's strengthening. So just really slowly bring the weight down, tap it on the floor, and then bring the hips through. Okay, so Romanian deadlift, also known as a stiff legged deadlift. The legs kind of, once they're in position, they stay stiff, and then just the hips pop through. Okay, so you kind of almost just leaning forward, the hip is your hinge point. You tap down, back's moving, you pull your shoulders back. Okay, final repetition through, just keep on a little practice. Just tap down there, and hips come through. Okay, awesome guys. Next, single leg deadlift. Okay, so can be treated as a balance exercise, or if you've got a weight, a bottle, a bag with some weights in, whatever you've got at home, you can turn it into a weighted exercise as well. I'm going to start off on the sake of today to make it easier to balance a little bit. If we start on the left foot and you have the weight in the right hand, okay, we're going to be working the left leg, and you're just going to come forward, tap down on the floor, and then slowly come back up and the hips come through. Okay, so again, weighted exercise would be a little bit more difficult. I'm finding it quite hard there to balance. Leg comes up straight behind and the hips come through. As a balance exercise, if I pop that down there, all you're doing, you're on left leg, and you're using your right hand, tap on the floor in front, and then slowly control yourself and bring yourself up. That's still a lot of load on that hamstring, so even doing this, you'll feel it. And it's actually really hard to balance. So again, if you feel yourself wobbling side to side, that's normal. And I've had quite a bit of practice at these recently, coming up there. So my balance isn't too bad now with this. I'm going to come a slightly different angle. I'm on my left foot, slight bend in the knee, I'm balancing. I'm reaching down towards the floor, the legs coming up behind me to counterbalance me. And with this, try and keep the hips locked off. Okay, try not to open out the hips. Try and keep that hip down, and you're just coming backwards and forwards. Okay, guys? Stopping there. Have another practice on the other side. So now I'm on my right foot. I'm touching my left hand down towards the floor. As you can see, as my left hand's coming down, my left heel is coming up behind me, tapping down, and then I'm coming through. Okay? And again, if you really want, you can add in the knee, coming through, before you then reach forward again. And try and keep the hips locked off. So all I mean by that is keeping it forward. So when I'm on my left leg here and I'm reaching down, lost my balance straight away. As you're coming down, try and keep that hip down, not round there. So keep the feet facing the floor as you come down there. So as you come through again, the foot's nice and straight. Okay, just keep practicing, guys. Can't remember which leg I was on. And it is one you can just alternate through. Guys, tapping down, keep those hips locked off. Those off, and coming up there. Okay. Stopping there, guys. Next one, okay, another glute hamstring based movement. The hip thrust. Okay. If you can, you're going to need a chair for this, a sofa, excuse me. Oh, I can feel my hay fever coming on. So, let's close that window. Hands on the desk or elbows back on the desk, okay, or a chair, or obviously I've got the plinth here. What you're going to be doing is hips up nice and high, like you're doing a bridge, and they're coming down, okay, down to the floor, and then coming up high. Think about turning the knees out, splitting the knees apart, bringing the hips up nice and high, okay, so you're really working glute max. You're working that hip, complex hip contraction. So you're bringing the hips up high, thrusting the hips up, and then bringing the hips down, as if you're going to sit down. So here I'm kind of sat on the floor almost. Pop the bum up, and then bring the hips up. Okay. And pop your elbows back on a windowsill, a desk, a sofa, the arm of a sofa, a chair. If you don't have anything, bring yourself down the wall a little bit. And again, you can still practice sitting back onto. Now, again, you're going to feel this in the lower back a little bit. It's a back extension exercise, but also hamstrings are working a little bit, and then again glutes. It's big glute movements. Think about again the glutes working, so actually actively try and contract your bottom muscles. Try and always turn the knees out, squeeze your bum cheeks in as you get to the top, and then slowly lower the contraction. Okay, just one more through, guys. Raise the hips up and go back down nice. So again, this is one, it takes a bit of kind of control and a bit of angle to it, where you can put weights, you can put a kettlebell on your hips, or you can put a barbell across your hips, usually with a mat kind of in between, so you're not crushing your own hips, but you pop the hit on there, the weight on there, and then you can lift the weight up. So you can easily add weight to that exercise. You can even do it with the elbows on the floor, but then it turns into more of a bridge than a hip thrust. Okay guys, coming back to exercise number 1. So for the sake of demonstration, I'm just going to use a down rod this time. So again, you can use a barbell, kettlebell, 2 weights in the hands, dumbbells or bottles. Okay, feet shoulder width apart. You're imagining with this, it's almost kind of sliding down, just past the knees, coming down as if you're going to tap it on the toes like I've just done, and then come back up and through. Okay, come at a slightly different angle. So a slight bend in the knee, and then you stop there, and then you're just bringing yourself down as if you're going to stretch your hamstrings, and then nice and tall. So stiff leg deadlift or Romanian deadlift. Leaning forward, big load on the hamstrings. Can we most often use the hamstrings with the legs extended? If you think about running, think about walking, jumping, you don't tend to have the knees bent. We don't run around like this. So again, it's a really nice way of keeping a bit of strength in that extended position, asking the hamstrings to contract whilst there isn't a big bend in the knee. So it's quite a useful exercise for making it sport specific or running specific. And again, it's adding control to the knee. So you're kind of holding the knee in a slight bend and coming up. So again, it's a nice exercise for a bit of tension in the knee and control in the knee, hold in one position as the hips move. So it's a really nice exercise to get the knees holding, having a bit of a contraction and being stiff whilst the hips move. Let's go down again, we've got weight coming down and then hips coming back through. Okay guys, stop in there. Going back to our single leg exercise. This time I'm going to use the weight. I'm going to start on my left foot. My right heel is going to be coming backwards to make sure I've got enough room. So I'm on my left foot, kettlebell's in my right hand. I'm trying not to turn the foot out, I'm keeping the foot facing forward. And I'm just going to reach forward, tap the kettlebell down, and then come back over again. You should feel a big strain on that left hamstring, maybe even the left glute. Reaching down, tap down there, and then hips come through. Again, tap down, hips come through. I'll rush to finish on that. Again, if you can, slow and steady. Control, control, control. Tap down, then come back up. Other hand, try and just kind of float it, use it to counterbalance yourself. So the spare hand that's not holding a kettlebell, just float. Okay, guys, last repetition through. Tap down, pull yourself up, and then switching hands. Okay guys, exactly the same on the side. So now I'm on my right leg, planting that and balancing, trying to keep the hips squared off, and then I'm reaching forward. Up and down on the floor, trying to keep the foot facing forward as well, and then I'm coming back through there. Okay, keep that going guys, 40 seconds. My hay fever is really playing up today, high palm count. Keep thinking about the control, speed of movement, making it as fluid as possible. So try not to jerk down as you're coming down, try not to jerk. Try and make it as slow and controlled and fluid as possible as you touch down, and then you reverse that movement and that nice and slow. Okay, easier said than done, I know. Again, reaching forward. Again, if you feel that kind of lean and sway, correct the movement, hips locked off, and then go again. Down, 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 tap, and then again bring it forward, and again try to keep that foot facing forward the whole time. And guys, it's been just over 45 there, stuck in there. Okay, weight to the side. If your body weight, that's absolutely fine. And again, hip thrusts. So elbows, object, hips coming down. Again, this is one, if you've got bands at home, you can tie a band down to chair legs or whatever. If you've got something on the floor, you can pop them on and then you'll bring your hips up against that band. Again, you can pop them under your feet, it's just a little bit more difficult. Hip thrust, guys. Again, if you find the hip thrust really easy, what do you do? Single leg hip thrust. Okay, so just practice driving up, then change legs. And you can practice the other side. So again, if it's really easy, single leg hip thrust. Keep a gap between the knees. Drive the heel down into the floor. Push the floor away from you. Push the floor away. Bring the hips up nice and high. So the hips under, and hips nice and high. Again, think about squeezing your glutes. Don't just rely on the lower back to pull you up, tighten up. Squeeze your bum muscles nice and tight. I always think about bringing bum in and the knees out. So really contracting. Do that, hips back down, up nice and high. And stop in there, guys. Okay. Final time through. Back to our Romanian deadlifts. This time we'll use the kettlebell. And again, feet shoulder width apart. Both feet facing forward. Okay. Slight bend in the knee. Start to lean as if you're, there shouldn't be any weight for the arms. You're just literally letting that kettlebell pull you towards the floor. When you get to the floor, again, back nice and straight. And the hips come through. Okay, so again, leaning forward, back, straight, tap down, and then coming through. Lean forward, tap down, coming through. Again, if you're just using your hands or bottles, or a chair or another object you picked up, absolutely fine. If you do have a kettlebell or a barbell, great. It's measurable. You know how much weight you're lifting over how many reps. So I've got an 8 kilo kettlebell, so I know if I do 10 reps, I've lifted 80 kilograms of weight there in the set. Do 3 sets, it's 240 kilos. So again, it's an easy way, if you have got weights, where you can just monitor what you're doing. Can you then do next set 250, 260, 270? Again, if you've got a barbell with 100 count, doing 8 reps, that will very quickly come up. Yeah, it's just a nice way to measure what you're doing. That's 3, 2, 1, and 0. Stop in there. Single leg again, guys. At the moment, Harry's not feeling too bad, but again, my proprioception, my balance isn't quite spot on, so I'm going to do it without the weight. And again, at home, if you're confident enough, feel free to do it with a dumbbell in hand or a bottle or something, an object, just add a bit of weight to the exercise. But really long legs, so I need to come forward. So I've got left leg down, and I'm bringing right hand towards the floor. Control, tap, get that knee working hard, control, try not to bend and flex and sway. Try and stay still on that leg. Tap in front, then come back up. So you're working all those stabilizing muscles around the knee, not just the hamstrings. And also, left side of the glute, working really hard, because otherwise the hip would just pop out, you'd sway to the side. So again, that is contracting and bringing you up. When you're on a single leg, this is a single leg exercise, it requires a lot of glute contraction and glute stability, or hip stability, to make sure you're not swaying and rocking side to side and the hips coming in and swaying around. Yeah, there's a couple more repetitions this side, just lost it at the end there. And one more through. And can you change your feet? And on my right foot. And I'm going left hand towards the floor. You can do it both sides, it just tends to help. Just lock the hip back off to your opposite hand. It's probably a bit more challenging if you do same hand. And again, you then have to think about keeping that hip locked up. My hammies are burning a little bit now for the last couple of days and today, so I can feel a little bit more shaky. Again, that's kind of what you want by your third set, using an appropriate weight or an appropriate challenge to your balance. That it's actually quite a difficult exercise. It's just easy for the full 3 sets. It's probably not doing you a lot of good. You guys, last couple through. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Stopping there. Okay, guys. Back to hip thrusts. We've been going just over 40 minutes now, so this is going to be the last set through. Really drive those hips up. Have a practice of the single leg hip thrust as well if you want. Again, another way you can make this harder, play with the angle of the feet, so you can have the angle further out, probably a little bit more hamstring, or you can close yourself in and get lower, and again, probably more glute. Just make sure you're squeezing your bum muscles, your glute muscles as you come up. Think about squeezing the glutes, bring the hips up nice and high. And like I said, feel free, practice single leg version, come down, and then driving the hip up. And again, change sides and have a feel at the other side, come down and hip up. Can you still get that hip extension? Can you drive yourself up nice and high still? If not, maybe go for the 2 leg version. And over time, just add a bit of weight and build the strength up there. That's 3, 2, 1, and 0, coming down there. Okay, guys, relax, come onto the floor. Loads of glutes and hamstring work today. So we'll stretch out glutes and hamstrings to finish. Feet wide to start with. And just again, we've loaded at the back with a lot of these exercises as well. Just lean forward. Yeah, that feels really stiff today. Against my heels yesterday and Sunday stretch. Nowhere near now. Yeah, just hold, lean forward. Let the tissue in the back stretch out. Try to creep your hands forward, try and feel the hamstring stretching as well. If you can. And walk your way over to the left hamstring. So pop the hands either side of the left ankle. Then bring yourself over to the right. Back to the middle. And up nice and tall. Okay, right leg straight, left leg over. Step over, then hook that knee and pull in tight. So hug that knee. And I'm pulling my left knee towards my right chest. So I'm not just pulling in, but I'm trying to pull around a little bit as well. And I can feel like my left glute there. All your stretches again, try and hold for around 20 seconds. Give that tissue a bit of time to start stretching out. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Coming down there, changing the legs. Other leg comes over. So my right leg stepping over my left. Using my left arm, crease my arms, pull round on that knee, and hug it tight. Again, if you're quite tight around the hips and back, it's probably quite a difficult stretch. Don't worry if you're kind of far out in front. Just get as much of a hook as you can and just pull in tight and just hold there. And again, just 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Another way to stretch the glutes, or also piriformis, little muscle on the glutes, ankle over knee, okay, and then try and get that knee towards you. Try and grab around the back of the thigh and pull in. Okay, if you find it hard, you've got this leg here to put against a wall or a sofa or something at home. Okay, if not, just worry about getting this leg in. So try and pull that leg in closer to the body. Okay, if you can use that knee, just helps push in and hold. Here, 3, 2, 1. Change legs. Again, ankle over knee, figure 4 stretch. Piriformis stretch, so you can just pull in tight and we're just holding there. Again, if your left ankle is on your right knee, you should feel this in kind of the left glute, or just below. Again, last 5 seconds for 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Come down there. Okay, guys, again, standing up. We'll finish off standing hammies. Okay, just reaching forward down towards the floor. If there's a slight bend in the knee, don't worry. You'll probably feel more of the hamstring bulk that way. If the legs are back, you'll probably feel a bit more back of the calves, or even the nervous tissue stretching as well. If you can, just slight bend in the knee and then lean your body forward. Can you get fingertips on the floor? Can you get knuckles on the floor? Can you get palms on the floor? Again, if you find that easy, walk the feet in. If you find it really hard, just try and touch your feet and widen the feet as well. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Going up to all there. Awesome, well done, guys. So today's themes were essentially lots of glute work, lots of hamstring work, hip stability, knee stability, and to hold positions of tension. Any questions about the exercises, just fire them over in the comments box, or otherwise jack@energizedtherapy.com, or send me a message if you've got any questions. As usual,